I will say that, yeah, I hit the go live. I just did to
I
get
just
the natural
noticed.
conversation because the patrons get the uncut stuff. That's the big thing now.
Right.
With when you're on the feeds, you just get the hello, ladies and gentlemen. But the patrons, they get the before and after now. So that's why you join Patreon. But
It's a common thing with us. We usually go on for first 10 minutes.
yeah. Oh
Regardless.
man, I don't even think Taylor did the thumbnail. He's at work. He's like, work, hold me back. Let me check if there's a thumbnail because I
He's
didn't change
back?
it. If not,
I thought he was
well,
still in the woods.
he got back I think yesterday or something, but he's like at work or stuff, so he's not like officially back. He changed. I bet he's been back. I bet he never even left, and he's just lied this whole time. Because like one time he's like, "Yeah, I'm not back till like the 25th," and it's like it's more like 22nd, it's the 21st. Okay, it's the 19th, and then like the day of the wedding, he's like, "Actually, I think the 18th is when we're back," and it's just like, all right, whatever. So yeah, you know what, the thumbnail is just gonna be our, the classic GV hangout Grand Theft Auto inspired one, but that's the way it is. And get rid of this. They can see our lovely faces. But I will say before we get into GV 409 that so years ago when I was in New York, I had Ben and Jerry's the late night snack. And the late night snack was Jimmy Fallon's ice cream before. Hello there, sir. Hello, Chris Balga. Great. I didn't get to hear all of it because then I got off work, but great first half of Marvel Alliance. I'm looking forward to listening to the rest. But so I went there and got late
Yep.
night snack. This is before Jimmy Fallon was hosting Tonight Show. There was, and I just had to try it because I was like, this couldn't be good, but it was vanilla ice cream. It was something else. It was like almost like caramel wafers, chocolate chips, and then potato chips all put together. As folks, we're gonna talk about this Man of Steel business thing because I got a lot to say of people. We'll get to it, but anyway. So, and I'm like, this can't be good. Legitimately, these potato chips mixed with the butterscotch, the chocolate chip, and the vanilla, one of the best things I've ever tasted all time. The combination of chocolate chip and potato chip, like just like a regular potato chip, like a Lay's or something, man, it was fucking really good. Like, and know what I hate is when he went to the night show, they discontinued that flavor and they didn't carry it over. They made him a new flavor. And
Ah,
yeah, but I don't know if I could handcraft like potato chips and chocolate chips together and ice cream to be good,
I
but
don't think so.
it was good. I was eating it in the hotel room and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so good." So you might not be wrong. People in the chat, butterscotch, milk, and chocolate chips. Is there something that has that as a meal that is good? But yeah, it was
They probably got some crazy conglomeratory combo thing in the Americas. They usually have crazy flavors. Like, I think it was in the States. I found a potato chip that was chicken and waffles, like the flavor.
oh,
And I
okay,
love
yeah.
chicken and waffles. It's a like go to IHOP and get one of those. It's not the most
How was the
common
chip
breakfast
though?
item, but it's
How was the
really, really
chip?
good. The chip was god awful. I like
Okay.
I like got the bag and like, oh, I can't wait to devour this. This is gonna be so good. And it was one of like I'm not that picky of an eater. Usually if it's something like, oh, I don't like this, but I'm pretty like what's the word? Cheap, I guess. I don't want to like waste food. So I'll usually scarf it down. Those, it was like, no, I like tried to offer them to other people and they didn't even try it. It's just their
That's the
reaction to like
worst.
me
Yeah.
and they didn't want it. So I'm like, I can't believe I have to leave this. I think I ended up just like leaving it in my hotel room or something, just a little gift for the next person, but
I saw
I couldn't do it.
S Bub says I saw a barbecue pizza chip bag here in Florida. That's S Bubs. You say like you put LOL at the end, but that sounds really tempting. But I'm not. I'm like Kirkland's right. Like I can't remember when, but at some point they made some brand made like a poutine chip, and I was like, oh, this is probably gonna be great. It tastes like absolute dog shit. Like
Yeah.
it's just bitter and gross, and it's one of those like when you have like the aftertaste, but then you get the second aftertaste. Man, it sucks. And those are always when you get a chip that fucking scores, you're like, this is really good. Everyone's a bit, and then it's like, man, I should have got more. But when you get a bag that's awful, you'll find no one that likes that flavor, and you're stuck with
Yeah.
it, or you throw it out and you just wasted money. And you're like, fuck me, right? So
Yeah, exactly. I can't imagine it was a cheap chip. Like if it's like a special
no,
promo one, it's got to be
no.
top dollar.
Lay's chips with their weird flavors. Yeah, Chris, you're right because we've gotten a few in Canada here, but like, actually, you know what? I'm probably gonna save. I'm gonna write this down because we got news to talk about, but I'm gonna write this down in the after nine topics. And whenever we do after nine, I'm gonna get a bunch of different flavored chips, and we're just gonna talk about what we think like their taste would be and everything like that. So this is going in the piggy bank
We could
for
do
the
like a
future.
side segment too, of just come up with a wild flavor and then
Oh
just be
yeah,
like, is this
pitch
an
it.
actual chip flavor or not? And then I feel like there'll
Mhm.
be quite a few
A
that'll trip
BS
people up.
meter, but with chips.
Yeah, like a poutine chip. I feel like I would say no to that. I feel like I don't believe it, but obviously it was a thing. You did it, but
Oh, you'd say no. I thought you said no as being like, oh no, I don't want that. Yeah, I don't know if it was America, but yeah, I'll have any poutine. I love poutine. Fanboy Clay says I saw a Dorito flavored potato chips the other day. What does that even mean?
What does that mean?
Dorito flavored potato. So I'm guessing it's like a potato chip.
Are Doritos not potato chips? Are they like a corn chip? Is that what makes them different?
They're not even a chip. They're probably some fucking cancerous, like cancer cheese, but maybe
Have you
not.
ever seen that episode? I mean, I guess I should start by asking. Have you ever seen SpongeBob? Did you ever watch that back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw, but the chum bucket, the way that they make their burgers, it's just like this goo that just like forms into like the shape of a like a Krabby Patty. I think that's what it
Mhm.
was. And they like took a bite and it was just like gray. Was that what it was like?
Maybe Chris says orange juice and toothpaste flavor. Yeah, that would be the worst. Or you know what the worst flavor would be? And this is I don't know how you do this. If you've ever had like a cavity and they put a filling on it, and then you put like what is it tinfoil on it, and like your like like your tooth starts like ring like you don't know what I'm
What the
talking about, do
hell?
you? You don't know what I'm talking about, do
Is it
you?
like
It
a
has like
science experiment or something?
yeah, like the way if you were to put your tongue on a battery, like that type of feeling, if you put tinfoil
Mm.
on like your teeth when it has like a filling over it, it fucking kills. S Bubs, is this actually true or are you just trolling? They legally can't be called a chip. I bet he's trolling, but if that's true, wow, we were learning a lot today. They are Lay's chips flavored as Doritos. It's weird. Just buy Doritos. Well, no, see, I understand that because you might want the texture and the bite of a Lay's, but you want the flavor of a Dorito. So I surprisingly get it. I understand it, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I'm more of a Lay's guy. I think I like the thinner chip as opposed to the Dorito. It's a little too much thickness for my liking.
Taylor's over here complaining. I can't put the thumbnail on Facebook. It says scheduled soon to save it. Give me the 10-minute crap, even though I did it well before 15 minutes. It's because I changed the time on him to 8, so it won't let him change anything. It's fine. He has no idea we're live, but that's fine. But yeah, it's well, there we go. We're gonna talk about that in the future and everything. Like, I'm just joking. It's a fun fact that Subway sandwiches are actually called footlongs and doesn't actually mean they're 1 foot long. Yeah, that's very much true. You know, they're a bunch of con artists. That's why you go to Quiznos, you know?
Quiznos is better. I will
Yes.
die on that hill every day of the week.
Do they have Quiznos in America? Americans in the chat, answer us. Do they have Quiznos?
I
I
think
don't know
they
that
do.
for a fact. But do you know that for a fact? Would
I
you bet your unborn child?
I wouldn't bet my unborn child, but I think I would bet like some money on that.
So talking about some money. So I was on the DC Alliance review last week, and we were reviewing Titans. And Heinz threw out the most outrageous bet ever. And because there's a certain character that dies, and I said, "Oh, he might come back." And Heinz literally said, "I will bet you $1,000 Canadian he will not come back." And it didn't
Oh my
sound like he was
gosh.
joking. It didn't sound like he was joking. I did not take him up on it because I was not that confident. But if that
Yeah.
character comes back, I'm gonna be pissed because he would be like, "Oh no, it was just a joke. I don't, I'm gonna you're already going to beat me on August 27th. Don't take my money from me." But yes, play interest going down. But yes, they do have Quiznos. There you go, for a fact. I'm pretty sure, but we haven't
Yeah.
seen any near me. So CS Bub. So they're in some places in America banned. You know, no Quiznos there, but they're definitely the better one. I bet you a free cup of coffee in the break room. Yeah, a pizza, something like that. Food, I understand. $1,000, $1,000 would literally be like, I'm gonna bet you like that I'll never fly because I'll never be able to fly physically without a machine, right? But like he was so confident. He was $1,000 a man is crazy. It's almost like he's red spoilers for the season and he was looking to make some money off me. But you ready to start this newscast, Kirklin Panther?
Absolutely. I am poised and ready to go. We had a cast earlier this week and I was definitely on my A game. It was like the day after getting back from vacation. So
It was 9 and you're like, this is rough, man. This
oh
is
yeah, for sure. I was out of it's like jet lag, coming back
100%.
from vacation, but I'm feeling good. Been working this week. It's been like the longest work week of my life. Monday I was like so jazzed and ready to go, and then just like Tuesday to now, it felt like 3 weeks in one. It's just like I've been so tired and like the days just seem so long, but I think I'm
Taylor
hitting my
said
stride here.
Taylor said the same thing because when he's going back to work, he's like, "Man, we really got to make like GeekVerse our actual like job because this just fucking sucks." Like, and no one from his work's listening. I don't think he meant like his actual job sucks, but just the idea of like, Oh,
Having to
this joke.
be at like, like a 9 to 5. I don't know what his hours are, but something like that, like
Yeah.
obligated to be somewhere. I mean, maybe that's a good thing for us on the podcast because coming back from vacation, you know what you've been missing. You know what you've been. Maybe I shouldn't say you know what you've been missing, but like since we're having these thoughts of we want to have this as a full time job, maybe we're just going to be so much more motivated, and we're just going to have a crazy end of the year.
Well, I hope so. I hope so next year. Well, you say that, but then all our fucking content's getting delayed. So I don't know about that. But we'll make it
We'll
work.
make new
Streaming,
content.
yeah, and streaming wise, we're good. We're gonna get a new season of You coming out soon. We're gonna get
I'm so
Hawkeye.
excited.
Yeah, we're getting Hawkeye coming out. We're getting a new season of The Witcher. So like, we're pretty set. You're not on top of this, but me and Taylor get a new season of The Boys, unless you catch up. So that's a great thing. If we had just movies, like I think when COVID first started the last time, it was that unfortunate time. It was like no big streaming shows were happening and all the movies are gone. So it was like, fuck, what do we talk about? And then we had to talk about Color Out of Space, which shout out to Aaron Brain, who I love that he said every time GeekVerse
Yeah, I love
mentions
that.
me and the fact that I made him watch it, I level up. And you do like I feel like lots of our patrons specifically have like all like singular moments that are tied to this podcast. But Aaron Braden, Color Out of Space will I'll always think of you first, like fuck, that guy made us review that movie, you know. S-Bub says $1,000 Shang-Chi dies in Shang-Chi. See, I could take that bet because there might be some bullshit where he dies and then like comes back to life, right? Like Harry Potter in Deathly Hallows, where he technically dies, but then he got resurrected. So, did you know I've never read a single Harry Potter book. I tried like a few chapters the first one. I was like, nah, I'm done. Books aren't for me. But
Hmm.
when the last book did come out, I did find it in a airport. Walked over, read the last few like
The
books, like
airport.
airport. Sorry,
Okay, sorry. That
read the
was some
last few
fancy barber.
chapters. I was like, oh, he dies. Oh, he comes back. Oh, that's how it ends. Close it, and then I walked
Why
away
would you do that?
because I didn't
Why would you do
care.
that?
I just want to know if he
Oh
lived or
my god.
died. You
I
know?
remember like being on like the school bus or something, and some kids like told everyone like kind of what happened, the ones that were reading because they felt so high and mighty. But
Yeah.
I don't remember hearing that he dies and comes back. It was just like, oh yeah, in the end, Harry marries Jeannie and Ron marries Hermione, and that was like all the details we got. Not my
What?
tempo.
Why do you think I
Interesting
have so
take,
many
Chris.
podcasts? Makes it feels like my job. Yeah, Clay, you got a lot of them, but eventually you're gonna combust. I was at the point. You can ask Kirklin, like really early GV. I had this. I had Rant Rave Repeat. I had Star Wars, our Star Wars show. I had the retrospectives. I had Dynamic Duo, and eventually you just explode. Eventually it's so much, but luckily now because people support, I do a lot. But it's because it's funding this and funding new content, everything like that. S Bub says, when does the boys come out? Season 3 come out? I feel like it's either going to be late this fall or early next year. I think it's early this next year because I think it was delayed because COVID, but usually it's been the fall. And fuck, I can't wait for the boys. I can't wait for you to one day watch it. That show's fucking incredible, man. Like, you're going to love it. That is just like the best show on TV. As saying that as the guy who watches only a few shows on TV because there's so many of them. But like literally the other day, I think it was Rotten Tomatoes, they made this like article and it was like the 100 best shows on TV right now. And I was like, on now, like right, I thought it was like an
100.
all time, but it's like the 100 best TV shows on TV right now. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And that's just like there's so much content, I'm never gonna get to it. The movies are better in my opinion. Are you talking about
Harry
in
Potter.
Oh, okay. I was like, I thought he was just making I suppose making a blanket statement that movies are better than TV. The movies are better, by the way. Yeah, Chris. One time, either it's amalgam chat or next time we do a big crossover or an after 9. I definitely want to get into the Harry Potter thing because I'm not saying like Harry Potter is the greatest, like you should love it, but I'm surprised it's not. But we all have those, like the way people are losing their crap about He-Man. Never really, my sort of deal. There's other stuff too, like I feel like there's something really popular getting revived right now. Where I'm like, yeah, it just never been for me. So one day we'll get down to it.
Absolutely.
I thought you
Is
were searching something, but no.
no, not at all. Just
Well,
just
usually I
chilling.
can tell your screen gets a little whiter, so I'm like, oh, Kirkland's searching for something. But
No, it's because I saw the chat pop off. I was wondering if Taylor was hearing our dialogue, but definitely not. He's just making a statement that Call of Duty's got him.
Kurt Taylor will probably once a day drop in the chat and just rant about something that none of us give two shits about 0%, but he'll make sure we know it. That's why I like to drop that like, oh, cool story, Hansel, and then we move along. But like, it's
I
just
love
some.
that GIF response.
I do it to Emily all the time. She
Yeah.
hates it, but like, it's like because Cool Story Hansel was before Cool Story Bro. It predates it.
Yeah.
So sometimes Taylor just uses the chats as like his his opening mind. Like he just throws stuff out. Like when today he dropped an image of Kate Beckinsale and Mila Jovovich together, and he was talking. He's just, I don't know, going off about why they're not in the MCU. And he's like, I know Kirklin wants it. And Kirklin's like, I've never said like this at all. Like he'll just like say like, oh, this is a thing. As Bob says, I'm gonna start watching Titans. I've heard good things recently. Yeah, the keyword is recently, but I'm very excited because after this podcast, I'm gonna go to the gym, but then I'm gonna go watch episodes 4 of Titans. These last week, man, like you'll never watch Titans, but fuck, it was good. This is like the Dick Grayson content I want. There's some great
Nice.
Batman broken shit going on there. S-Bubs, don't listen to Family Clay. It's rough. No, it's not. Go listen, S-Bubs, to the DC Alliance non-spoilers portion. I will admit that the show is not fantastic. It's not top tier comic book show, but it depends where you are. But if you like Batman stuff, it's definitely for you. I always thought the show was bad based on the first ever trailer. It has a lower quality. I feel like it's definitely more, it's B tier with sometimes some A tier episodes, but there's more B tier. But it's not rough Family Clay. There's a lot more rough stuff out there, but anything else, sir?
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you boys, do you think Shay would like it?
Did she like Invincible?
No, she stopped watching that with me.
Then no.
Okay. Then that'll be
you could
the reason I
try.
asked is because like, whenever I can get her on a show, that's when I like power binge shows. Like we watched Hannibal so fast because I finally got like a few episodes were kind of rough for her, but like she got hooked for sure. Definitely for Mads Mikkelsen. And then I was trying to get her to watch Ted Lasso with me for the longest time. Finally got her to watch it with me, and then we just powered through that in like a day and a half. I didn't realize
Was it good?
I didn't realize it's like a week by week show though, so we're all caught up.
Now
So
you're
we have to
fucked
wait
for
on it for
season 2.
Fridays.
Yeah.
But no, it's really good. I love it.
That's
It's a
all I
good
hear.
heartwarming show.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try it. Hopefully soon. We're we just started season 5 of Dexter tonight. So once we get that, I'm gonna start watching some new shows. But PlayStation has this thing where you get 6 months free with Apple Plus, so I'm gonna watch that. And then
Yeah.
plus in the fall, the morning show is coming back, which I fucking love.
Oh,
The
I haven't
morning
seen that
show.
one.
It
Is that the
honestly,
Steve Carell one?
yeah, Steve Carell, Jennifer
Yeah.
Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, Billy Crudup. The trailers and the previews, and even the first 2 episodes, you're kind of like, okay, this is gonna be like a regular kind of just like very over the top drama ish, just has big stars. But
Mhm.
eventually it like really gets into like cancel culture and like kind of spreading it around. And not cancel culture like just like, oh, to cancel people, like what does that actually mean? What are the levels of like, okay, if you've done this bad, but like where are you? And it's really, really good. I was surprised by it. I just of course watched because like I like these people, but I was surprised. And I really want to watch Apple Pluses. They have that show C. Do you know what that's about? It's Jason
Mm.
Momoa. Chat, you can tell me it's either like it's a community of deaf people or blind people. I'm gonna guess it's probably blind because the show's called See. But like, or well, maybe they're deaf and maybe that's all they can do is see. But either way, it's like a I don't know if it's post-apocalyptic or something. But in season 2, the villain of the whole show or the season is going to be Dave Bautista, and I think a Momoa versus Bautista.
Oof.
Yeah, that right there. When I saw like it announced, but then there's a trailer. I didn't watch all of it, but I saw Batista and he has like a really cool look. I was like, this fucking sold me big time. You know, like I'm right into this. So C is a good
He does
thing.
have a
So
cool look. I like his big beard. That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, it says in a future where humankind has lost the ability to see and
yeah,
is
of
forced to
course.
interact in new ways, a set of twins with sight is born, challenging
Yeah.
the status quo.
So yeah,
Ooh.
that's where I'm gonna try that one out. I really liked Defending Jacob with Chris Evans. That one was really good too. That one's just like a mini series, one and done. So watch For All Mankind, guys. It really is a cool counter history of the moon race. Yeah, it's funny because I've heard good things about, and Joel Kinnaman's in it, so I might give it a shot at some point. I guess like this, I feel like the space race and space, like I go in spades where I'm really interested in it, and then it's like, okay, I've consumed enough, I can take a break. But I've heard enough good things about Apple TV so far. They have like lots of quality out there. So
Mhm.
Wolf, but it's all subjective. I'll be interested in hearing your thoughts on the first few episodes of Titans. It's well, you heard my thoughts, Clay. I don't know what you want to hear about it, but no, it's Clay just asked him to host DC,
I
but
don't
he's
think
a
he's
bigger
talking
hit
to you,
DC.
man. I think he's talking to S-Bubs.
He is, but like he responded very late. So another show I'm putting out for a long time. So
He was typing for a long time. It's a long
he,
message.
yeah, he was. He's trying to think.
He's a two-finger typer.
Yeah. Defending Jake was so good, great camera work and visual storytelling. Yeah, that's the one. I don't know if you do you have any idea what that's about?
I've never even heard of Defending
So
Jacob.
it was like Apple TV's one of their first shows or one of their launch shows. He plays a lawyer, and his son, played by Billy from It, the kid who stutters.
Mm.
He is accused of killing someone, and he has to defend his own son. And it's really, really good. It's a very, I think it's only 8 episodes. It's a mini series. It's like Chris Evans doing some different stuff. It's a very fun who done it, who do you trust, and the finale, oh man, the finale gets fucking dark. It gets like
Mm.
really like it gets that like kind of sticks with you. Like, oh, I feel uncomfortable. And there's some like fun, good playing with time. So yes, defending Jacob is definite messed up show ending. Yes, Chris Vago says that Fantastic Four space race period movie. Please, I'm calling it early. You can call that early, S Bubs. I don't know if that's gonna be the case. I don't. How do you feel? I think we've talked about this a few times, but like, where are you nowadays as far as like Fantastic Four? Do you want them to be present day, or do you want them to get the Captain America, Captain Marvel treatment, where it's like they were here in the past, but something happened and then they come back, or they want to be like, oh, in 2023, we're going up into space to find where Thanos was birthed.
Um, I f- hmm, interesting. I feel like I'm more on the side of like period piece, or not necessarily. I don't
Oh,
know if that's the right term for it. Is
it
it
would
if it
be,
was just
yeah.
like okay,
Lots of people pitch it that like their dream is that it would like take place in the 60s. That's when they debuted, and you could have them be
oh,
very
okay,
like classic American and stuff
that'd be
like
really
that. And
cool. I
yeah,
just feel like if it's modern day, I mean, I don't know when that first Fantastic Four movie came up, but I feel like it'll just be too similar to that. And then it's always posed the question, like with Eternals popping up, like where the fuck were they during the
oh, we're gonna
Thanos
talk about that.
crisis, right? Oh, I know we are. It's just I feel like that would be my thoughts on the whole Fantastic Four like entrance, like because I feel like everyone's gonna be posing those questions. Like whenever there's like a new character now, it's like where were they during this event?
Yeah,
Um,
I think
which
it's easier though for them because the idea is, and Fanboy Clay says, I think it will start in the past and the present. I think people have pitched, which I agree, is they go up to space, they have their little venture, they somehow get caught in some sort of wormhole or something that would cause their powers. So that when they get out, it's like it's Planet of the Apes, like, oh, it's been like so many years and stuff like that. So I think that's the idea, is like something happened in space. They got kind of sucked at that time, then put back.
yeah,
Pretty much what happened to Paul Rudd, and it pretty much would be that, but Fantastic Four, where he was in that room for 5 minutes, but for everyone else it was 5 years, right?
yeah, and like I feel like I would like that more also because it's different than what I've already seen. Like I haven't really dove into Fantastic Four like at all in the
Mhm.
comics or anything like that, but just from what I've seen from like the Chris Evans Human Torch ones, I haven't seen the latest reboot. But
I'm excited to watch those one day, and I'm excited for you to watch Fan Four Stick, man, because like Michael B. Jordan's in that movie.
and Four Stick.
That's what they called it because that's the newest one, the 2015 one, because they spelled Fantastic Four with like a four as a letter. Like, yes. Pull the
Okay.
poster. It's there. So that's
Oh, I
why.
believe you. I don't think I have to.
That's
I'm
why
not gonna
at
bet you
some point,
$1,000 on that.
at some at some point now, we're gonna have three Fantastic Four movies. We're gonna have Fantastic Four 2003 or four, Fantastic Four 2015, and now this newest one. So that's why we can at least differentiate and call it Fantastic or Fan Four Stick. And that's why, like, I absolutely hate that in 2018, that Halloween movie, they just called it Halloween. Like, they literally just call it Halloween. They didn't put a subtitle on anything. They just call it Halloween. So now there's, again, same thing. There's three Halloween movies. Just the years are different. Lazy,
Yeah.
lazy, lazy. And you know how I know they're lazy? Is because they call their sequels Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. They're a bunch of fucking lazy people over there that can't think of titles. Halloween Kills.
Yeah. Would you like it better if it was like October 31st? Like that
The
was the
movie.
title of the movie?
Oh, I thought you meant Halloween October
No,
31st.
just October
No,
31st. What is this?
definitely not. SBub says Fantastic Four introduced in What If. Check out Marvel Alliance. They did just cover that. The writer said they're not going to introduce any elements as of right now for Fantastic Four or X-Men and What If, which I like. I think that makes sense. Like, save it to MCU. I remember watching that movie in the theaters. My soul left the body after I saw Doom. That design was awful. Yeah, he is looking really rough in that movie. I will never watch Fan Four Stick. Oh, never say never. There'll be some sort of reason. There'll be some charity stream or something. You'll get rope into it. Halloween Lives, the third one title, calling it. No, Chris, the title, the third one's Halloween Ends. Unless you're saying, is there another one? And like lives? Yeah, because they say that'll be the last one. But I guess
Yeah,
I should do an
right.
I guess I should do an intro
I was
because
gonna
now
say I feel like I haven't introduced myself. I'm like looking at my nickname. It's like, oh yeah, I haven't said that.
usually I'll keep some of that for Patreon, but I'm definitely gonna keep some of that because that was some good conversation. Thanks
That
to the
was
chat. We're
awesome.
just on,
Yeah.
and we're gonna keep it going. So hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Geek First 409. That makes no second fucking
That's the
sense.
title of our show.
409.
Welcome to
Welcome.
409.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
This
episode's title Geekverse.
this is why you should watch live or subscribe on Patreon so you know why we're a little loopy right now. But the 409th episode, I am the number one CM Punk fanboy, Travis Snell, and I'm joined by
The Fool of a Took, Kirklin Patzer.
full of a toque. Yeah, we got to get into that, but now we had so much ramble. I might have to say that for another time. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a newscast. Lots of fun was just had. So like I said, check out live or Patreon. You can go and check out. We dropped a bunch of stuff this week. A what if review. I dropped War for Wakanda. I beat that last night. I had tons and tons of
Nice.
fun with that. So go check that out. We did a newscast. Kirk and Patzer's first one back. We're reviewing What If Weekly. There's Suicide Squad review. I'm not going to put Kirkland on the spot, but it's reminiscence a solo review, Kirkland, for myself.
Oh geez. When is that out? That's out soon.
Tomorrow. But it's
Okay, that is
HBO
soon.
Max, so it's not theater. You don't got to go to a
Okay.
theater to see it.
I will be in touch with you. I'll leave it at
See,
that.
so I didn't put him on the spot. But anyways, I'll be reviewing that because I'm very excited. Rebecca Ferguson, Hugh Jackman, Detective Noir. So we got tons of stuff. That's why you follow us on Twitter or Facebook. You get our entire schedule, or head down in the description down below and you can find every single thing we do. Most importantly, go over to Patreon because if you like how many casts we're doing, you like all the content, head over there. And the more you support us, the more you get. Plus, you get a bunch of perks and a bunch of benefits. Ad-free, exclusive, early episodes, stuff like that. You'll get a few extra minutes on podcasts. You get to call into After 9 when we do that. Behind the scenes footage, behind the scenes updates, stuff like that. And if you can't do that, just head over to your podcatcher or YouTube. Please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, like it, and give us a 5-star written review on our podcast. That would help tremendously. So I think I've hit almost everything. I'm trying to do it a little bit quicker nowadays because we got so much stuff to promote. Before it was just like, oh, check out this cash. And nowadays I'll say check out Dylan was on Super Switch Heads. Go check that out. He really enjoyed that episode. Check out our podcast network as we had a big week. I will say, if they're listening to this, congratulations, Joe and Brent. They released episodes today. It's the biggest day in GUA history. So good for them. And probably the reason it is because Brent, the lucky bastard, last night got to see Shang-Chi. So you got to see it a whole 2 weeks early. So you can go check out GUA right now or the Marvel Alliance feed. There is a spoiler-free reaction. I listened to it. He does a very good job. No hinting, none of this some people do spoiler-free stuff, but there's some critics I love that I listen to, but I can't listen to their spoiler-free stuff. Not that I really do that much anymore, but when I did, it's like, no, you would say enough that would spoil it for me. It would be like, they'd be that type of person, like the movie was really good, but wait till the twist. And it's like, well, I don't need to know there's a fucking twist now, So it's just like, so that's where I understand it's not spoiling something, but that's a good thing. Brent doesn't do that. He was joined by his wife, who made her podcast and debut. So that was really cool. So check that out. Yeah, again, Brent's very lucky. I'm excited to hopefully see Shang-Chi in a few weeks here, but yeah, check that out. Check out our feeds. We got the GeekVerse main feed, the review feed, retrospective feed, news feed that have all those episodes specifically. And yes, Kirkland Patzer, are you ready to talk about something? Pretty much it's all Marvel today. I think it is just all Marvel. So,
and I'm not rocking Marvel today. We got my classic DC.
Well,
Superman
according to
shirt.
S Bubs, you are, because that's who was in the Eternals trailer. So
Ooh,
we got
set you up for that one.
so yeah,
boys.
and it's a whole big debate, and that's a good thing. Like I got a few talking points, but I wanted to start with this one because Chris brought up a Marvel Alliance, and I thought the exact same thing. This trailer, when you click on it, the title is Eternals Final Trailer. And I find it very interesting that we've got one teaser trailer. Kirkland made a big face. That's why I watched the YouTube version. It says the final trailer. And the thing is, it doubled, in my opinion, doubled down, as we've seen other movies right now. Like, you weren't around, but when Venom 2, that trailer came out, the last one, it just said this fall, where the first trailers had the Venom date, actually. So we were like, oh, they're thinking about delaying it. They did delay it. There was a report yesterday. They think they're delaying it again. So fuck. It's like, oh, here we go again with all these delays and moving dates. But so you have Eternals that is in the trailer saying November 5th, and you're having the YouTube and promotion and whatnot say final trailer. to me, this makes it feel like they are really doubling down on like we're hitting that November 5th date. And I feel like that is very risky to do. I think it's smart that they put this trailer out because Shang-Chi is out in 2 weeks, so we'll be in front of that. But if that movie does, it's just theatrical. If that movie does very poorly and they have to walk back their release dates, to put out something that's called the final trailer. Remember how many Black Widow trailers we got? Like, what's going to happen? And again, it doesn't matter. They're not breaking the law. But what happens in 6 months if they delay it? And it's like now they got to put out another, like a final trailer. So, or my tinfoil hat theory before I throw to you is, I think they just know Shang-Chi is not going to do that well, and it's going to hit November 5th, but it'll be back to Premier Access. So, what do you think about that? There, you got the date on the trailer, and it says final trailer.
Yeah, the reason the main reason I did the face was because when you said the title of the movie is Eternals, the final trailer, and I'm like, wait, what? I missed that one. So
Yeah.
either you definitely said that, or I definitely misheard you. But anyways, yes, in the era of like movie delays, it is always a super bold decision doing that. Do you remember if so? Geez, I'm gonna test you here on your history. When was Black Widow initially supposed to come out?
Oh, fuck you. I feel like that was May
2019?
2020. No, 2020, because 2019 was Endgame year. So
Right.
I feel
Okay.
like, yeah, because pandemic happened around last year, starting January, February. It was right after Birds of Prey. So I think it was May 2019. Someone can check me. And usually there's a big Marvel movie in May. So I think May 2019 was the date. And then we got it. No, we got it, what, July 2021. So it was it was a year and 2 months to when we actually
Yeah.
got it.
And like leading up to the movie, so I'm just trying to think of when like COVID really hit and like it was really everything
I
was
think
shutting
like the
down.
spring. I think like this
Yeah.
that like March, Aprilish for us. I
March.
think
Yeah.
that's when it like really shut. And it, I remember why too, because they did WrestleMania in the like the no like like crowd arena, but
Hmm.
like right, it was like a few like other sports and whatnot were banning fans, all this stuff. But Vince was like, "Oh, we're gonna do it. We're gonna go through with it." And like, I think they were hoping to do that one last event and then like shut everything down, but they didn't get to do it in Tampa Bay. So, and that's usually March, April time. So, yeah, March, April is when it got really bad.
Yeah. The reason I was
There you
asking,
go,
oh
Chris.
look at
Back
that.
me
We
up.
got
I'm a
all our
fucking
dates.
encyclopedia.
Best
And
buds
know
in
it,
there too.
no, yeah, no, it sucks. I used to be like, man, I used to be a savant with movie release dates. I have no fucking idea now. Other than I know the Batman is March 20th or March in March 2021 or
Oh, are you a
22.
savant?
No, I'm not anymore. COVID got me.
I mean, the reason I was asking because I was just trying to picture like when the time window of the last Black Widow trailer before the initial release was supposed to be, and then if it was like this is just the trailer, or this is the final trailer of the movie, but don't call it a trailer, like the final trailer or
Yeah.
the third trailer or something like that, because I mean, back then that was before the era of movie delays. It was like, wow, I can't believe a movie actually got delayed, and then they're just not even setting a new date for this. Whereas now it's just something that we've come to expect and are just so used to. Um,
So here we
I
go. I would assume this is the closest one to it. So there was a trailer March 9th, 2020, but it did not
oh yeah,
say final trailer. It's a just Black Widow official trailer. So that would have been 2 months before, but they didn't say final. And it's weird because like
yeah,
I feel like we had gotten a few teaser trailers or some of Black Widow where Eternals, we've gone that one teaser and then just this trailer, and it's already like they're talking about Smart Reliance. It's like it's not even like September shit, bro. That's like fall, like it's not even fall yet, and it's like they're calling this the final trailer. Like, it's a
yeah.
weird, and again, it's just a little thing. Maybe some fucking intern screwed up somewhere, and they're gonna change it. But it's strange that I don't know. Of course, we'll get TV spots and clips, which we don't watch or review those because I think those usually give away too much. But yeah, it's interesting. I guess we'll see. But
It is interesting. I feel like if I have to just put one word for it, I would just say like risky or
yeah,
like bold. Maybe bold would be a better one because I
S
because
Bubs is completely right though. Well, technically, they just changed the title of the YouTube video,
that's true.
100%. Or do
100%.
they?
Yeah.
Or does the next trailer, final trailer number 2? Like do they do that shit? That'd be good. So
That would be good, but because I feel like at the end of the day, if this does get delayed and then we get another trailer, will we really care? I don't know.
no, no. Well,
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I will ask you because I feel like the last time that we got the teaser trailer, I think it was one of the last few casts. So it was like you, me, Jessica, and Taylor all together. And I remember I was not that excited by it. And I was like, you know what? I'm sure I'll be in the minority and we'll get on the cast and somebody will enjoy this trailer. And I don't think none of us thought it was bad, but all of us were like, yeah, it just didn't really do it for us, everything like that. And lots of people did like it. Where are you on this one? Obviously, the delay, I don't think we'll probably revisit that topic after Shang-Chi and see how that does. But as far as that, let's just say, okay, it's coming out in November. Let's hope people get their shit together, but they won't because that's a whole different case. But where were you on this? Obviously, it's a lot longer of a trailer. It was like over 2.5 minutes. But if it's a final trailer, I guess that would make sense. Did this get your gears going? Are you still kind of in that boat where it's like, yeah, it's Marvel. You'll be somewhat excited, but it's not kind of at the tippy top of your list of most anticipated?
Yeah, so this is an interesting one for me. It actually did get my gears going. I'm not gonna lie. There's a few
Mhm.
moments I even got like some chills on my arms, and I was like, wow, this is unexpected. Or I mean,
Put a jacket on.
it it should be expected because it's Marvel.
Yeah.
But also while I'm watching this trailer, if they didn't say Thanos, I probably wouldn't even think that this was like a Marvel thing. I would have just thought it was like its own new superhero type show. Just because of how different it looks from what I've already seen in the Marvel universe. And like I'm seeing like as Bubs was, I guess we'll talk about the Man of Steel thing, but like I'm seeing a character that reminds me of Superman, but he's different. He's got a different suit, and I'm like, this could easily be something like I don't even know what to take an example of. Jumper.
Goku.
That was another one, right? Where it was like a superhero type movie that wasn't related
Yeah.
to like yeah, so like something like that because it just seems very different. And I don't know if that helps or hinders like my thoughts on the trailer because it's just something cool but doesn't seem to be attached to the MCU. Um, but overall, I really like the trailer. There's a lot more like showcase of their powers, like the laser eyes. But not even talk
Yeah.
about the laser eyes. Like Angelina Jolie's like badass like shield and spear thing that she had. That she it looked like she just like made it out of light. There's another cool sequence where like a bus was falling. It just like turned into like basically dust. It very much reminded me of like Thanos using the
I don't think
Reality
it was
Stone.
dust. I think it turned into flowers. Because at
Yeah,
one point,
exactly. So
yeah, he like
it's
touched it.
basically like the
Very
Reality
cool.
Stone, right? Where
Yeah.
it's like such a good, I don't know, like example, just another version of like that power, and it was just really cool. So like it was very visually appealing, and yeah, like I will say this has boosted my interest in the movie. Like you mentioned, we're gonna see it. It's part of the Marvel. We're gonna be doing a review
Yeah.
for it for sure. But this is at least like, okay, I'm kind of intrigued now. Whereas before it was like, okay, well I know I'll see it. I don't know who these people are. I have no interest at all. But now it's just okay. This is kind of cool. I'm hoping that I really like this movie because they seem to be very very powerful. They've been around for 7,000 years. Now they got 7 days to save something. Um, so yeah, like all in all, I don't think it was a perfect trailer just because there is a couple eye rolling moments, and I feel like that'll always be like a cloud over the Eternals. Is like, okay, like they mentioned in the trailer that they can't interfere with anything unless it's like a deviant involved. But if they
Talking whap, whap, whap.
if they wipe out
Like,
half of
okay,
all existence,
we gotta kill
that
Cardi B.
but like if they just wipe out half of all existence, oh no deviants were involved, so that doesn't matter to me. It's like really, really okay,
There's
whatever.
so much. You said so much stuff that I want to talk about, and
I
that's where it's
talked a
tough.
lot there. I'm sorry. I
No,
was
that's
excited.
fine.
I got
That's
my
my
energy
gimmick.
back
So
after.
no, that's good. Like, and that's where it's tough because like I gotta suspend my suspension of disbelief, right? But I did see this one. It was Brian Tyler Henry and his picture of him as he's crying, and it's just like you're telling me that this guy stood by and let slavery happen just because someone told him not to do anything. Now, this is a Marvel movie. I'm not expecting them to talk about that or tackle that. But here's the problem that they have is they have a movie in Black Panther that used slavery and racism very big, and they use that as a huge theme. So I think they walk a fine line of it being a massive theme in one movie, but you maybe have to skirt it and annoy it and that or ignore it. And that's where I would love that in the trailer, we have Dane Whitman, played by Kit Harington, aka Black Knight, who's now I'm standing him because he's like me. I think the Eternals are cowards. And he's like just full front, like, where were you? Thanos, all this other bad shit. Like, where the fuck were all of you? So this is where it's tough, and I'll have to wait to see the movie. Now, I've always said that no matter what, they were going to give us a reason in this movie why they were gone. I always trust Marvel. They'll always explain stuff. Even if it's a one-line sentence, even if it's a fucking cat scratching someone's eye, they will explain it whether you like that or not. So my thing is, she goes, "Oh, we didn't interfere because we were told not to," and then you get a huge slot of, I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's like Arnesian the Judge or whatever. Eternals is not my bag, so I'm not the history guy. I'm just gonna call him the Judge. But anyways, which I had to laugh on our thumbnail, which I did not make tailor made. He just took a picture, like he used a picture of the Judge, which I told him to, but then he just put. Oh, it's gonna show us. But anyways, it's a picture of the Judge, and then the caption was the Celestials. What is like? Why not Geek first or our episode number just the Celestials? But that's fine. Anyway, so she says because somebody told us not to, and it cuts to that. So clearly, if there's this huge fucking guy who's like this, like maybe more powerful than God or God's like stance, yeah, okay, I could understand that, but at the same time, I want that to be a really, not a huge crux, but I would love it if they actually tackled of talking about all the times they stood by someone like a Brian Tyree Henley, who is a black man, who would be like, yeah, I I thought every day about doing something, but for whatever reason I couldn't, or I struggled with it. If it is just one line, if we were told not to, it is a reason, but it doesn't make me that invested in it. You know, like that's where Black Panther, where everyone, I hate the revision history in Black Panther. Everyone goes, they're always going to tackle race. They're always going to talk about race. It was a black superhero. One, I disagree with that. They could have easily ignored that and just made an adventure. But two, people thought, if they thought that, they did not think he was going to be the main crux of the plot of Killmonger. You know, the way of like, hey, why didn't you were a plant, or you were a country all by yourself, and you let our brothers and sisters get like, you know, terrible things done to him, taken advantage of. Where were you? And it painted the Wakandans in a bad light, where, you know, it wasn't mean for a while, but the hashtag Killmonger was right. It was like, he has a point. So I would love it if they paint the heroes in this direction of like, yeah, you guys didn't do anything, and you should live with that because you probably made a mistake, even if it meant you know, you would have been killed off. Maybe you should have tried to help people, even if it meant your life, because that does make them cowards. So I hope they dive in that. But my worry is it's just one or two lines, and then we move on of like, oh, we couldn't because, you know, our life was threatened or something like that. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, but it does give me hope that with them saying that in the trailer, that they will expand upon it. Because I feel like if it's just that one line, why would they put that in the trailer? I feel like they would save that for the movie, and then, okay, that's why. Or maybe they just felt the pressure of everyone being like, where the fuck are they? But they walk a
Yeah.
huge fine line of, anytime you introduce a character that's been around for a long time, look at Captain Marvel. What were we all saying to Endgame? Where was she? Where was she? Okay, she was in space the whole time fighting a bunch of people. Is it a lame answer? Easy answer? It could be, but it's an answer. So I've seen them do both, where they'll take a social or a big issue and dive deep into it. And then we've seen where they're just like a hand wave of, yeah, Captain Marvel in space. Is she going to help? But like, there's aliens invading Earth. She's in space. Oh, okay. But she can fly. She couldn't get here in time because she's in space. All right. I guess like I'll just go with it. And it's like a car salesman of like, all right, you're selling me enough. I'll buy this piece of shit. But what I was going to, oh, go ahead.
No, you can go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so the trailer overall, you hit on something that I was gonna say almost identical, where I think as an MCU movie, I'm looking forward to it enough. I think that, like I've said before, this type of storylines in Marvel or DC, the grander god-like characters, never really interest me, because even when we had Loki, which luckily the show found a way, I was already not digging the whole like, hey, these Infinity Stones are paperweight, or hey, you could take a Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, walk him in the TVA, and he's completely powerless. Sometimes, like, you know, there is that term of OP, overpowered. I think it can hurt storytelling, you know? So luckily, Loki found a way. Hopefully, Eternals does a way. So on the whole, as a Marvel movie, I went, okay, this looks interesting, but I do worry, where does it fit? Is this going to feel too big? I think this movie for me looks better as like a movie that's not a part of the MCU. You know, like if this was a
Mhm.
Fox X-Men movie or like a Marvel movie that's off by its side, I think I'd be more excited because it's like, oh, it's setting up this whole new world. I think that's just the problem. Like, is this whole new world going to fit into this MCU? And I know people go, well, this is comics. Comics are different. It's a different adaptation. It's a different world, and it's a different audience as well. There's many times in this trailer, for me, when Guardians happened, it was, I was, you know, thought it was crazy they were going to do that. How are they going to make this a hit? But the thing was, once I saw the trailers, I was like, oh, they're going to make people love this talking raccoon, and they're going to make people love this tree. I still get flashes of this trailer, and I go, man, like, is this gonna be too much for someone like my mom? Like, when that celestial, like, the judge pops up and he's massive, it's like, is this just too? Is it gonna be too weird and too sci-fi? Because I think the good thing, Chloe Zhao, who is, Academy Award winning director, she just won the Oscar last year. She's a great filmmaker, so I think she'll find a way. But there is times like if this is bad, it looks almost like sci-fi movie level ish, right? As far as like these monsters and the world's ending and stuff like that. And it seems like they're dealing with like they're showing like tsunamis and stuff like that. We're dealing with another world ending issue right away. So I'm mixed where, like I said, as an MCU movie, I'm intrigued. I will say that this trailer at least got me more interested. I think it got me more interested more in the fact of when we saw the last Dune trailer, when it was just like, man, the scope of this is fucking crazy. And that's one
Mhm.
thing, like, I think Chloe Zhao, you can watch her other work, and I wasn't even the biggest fan of No Man Land, but she knows how to direct a movie. And just some of the scenes, I think in like the last 30 seconds of this trailer, just the scale of them and some of the fights was like, okay, this looks like it's at least hopefully if I do see it on the big screen, it's gonna be one of those like visually like even if you just mute it, no story, no character, visually it's gonna look
Oh yeah.
fantastic. So I am more excited for it, but I still am intrigued and I kind of am with you where it looks like this could be its own universe, this could be its own Avatar or Dune or something like that. And maybe that'll help. Maybe we'll all love it and you'll get a bunch of different Eternal spin-offs and stuff. I just go, how's this going to fit in the MCU? And I think we still almost kind of have the same problem with the X-Men, right? The X-Men, I'm a little less so because they've been in Marvel for so long and I love them a lot more. I can see ways. But with Eternals, as someone that's just heard of them and read them like in like a mention of it or something, not really, I've not read a single Eternals comic. I still am like, okay, how are we going to do this with such powerful beings, you know?
Yeah, and that's definitely like the hardest challenge for like the filmmakers to make because we already have an established universe of the MCU and then we're introducing like basically a new Avengers squad just way stronger and like
Yeah.
how can we keep this interesting for the viewers and stuff because I feel like a part of me while I was watching the trailer for the first time um I was able to just like disconnect everything I've kind of seen in the MCU so far. So like the only thing that really attached to it was like when they mentioned Thanos, and then it was just like its own sci-fi type movie, like you were
Yeah.
saying. And there was a lot of crazy shit in this trailer, and I think like the same thing you were mentioning, like your mom or something. Like, is it
Just
just
general
too?
audience in general,
Yeah,
you know? Like,
is
yeah.
it just too wild?
Yeah.
That's probably why I liked it so much was because it
Mhm.
was wild and it was very different from what I've seen in the past already in the MCU. But then when I had some more time to just like stew on it and think about the logistics of it, like, okay, if we are having the Eternals, let's just say I don't know, at some point they go to New York or something, and then
Yeah.
but while I'm watching it, I'm gonna be thinking, who's in the city right now, and like why aren't they appearing? It's the same kind of thing you always talk about whenever there's a movie, and I don't know, Peter Parker's flying around. There's no Doctor Strange. I guess
Yeah.
he has bigger fish to fry, or like
And if they're in New York,
Daredevil.
why do we need Spider-Man if Richard Mann can just run around and fucking destroy, everybody, and that is a situation too where it just gets to once they, defeat these deviants and if they're free, it's like, where do they go? And it's just I think maybe that's the other thing too, is like the Eternals. I wonder if it would have happened if they got Fox this early because I feel like they're introducing some very big things. That's always been my worry as far as I liked after Thanos, where WandaVision was smaller, Falcon Winter Soldier was smaller, Black Widow was smaller. Loki is bigger, but in a different sense, not in a like I guess it's gonna be world ending. It is bigger, but it just didn't feel like that. Like, hey, the ticking time. Like this feels like the multiverse feels like it's gonna be something over time. Where this feels like this deviants and the celestials. Like it looks like stuff. Like they literally say 7 days. And to me, it doesn't
Yeah.
even sound like 7 days where it's like, oh, you're gonna lose New York. It sounds like it's gonna be 7 days and like the world is destroyed, which is like, again, I don't know how I feel about that as after Endgame, if we're a few only 2 years away and we already have like a literal world-ending event. And because I always said this before that I think that hurt the DCU early on, where BVS, like Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, and Justice League all back to back to back had world-ending scenarios at the end of those movies. And I think by the time I got to Justice League, even the Snyder cut, it worked better. But I was still like, we've been here before, like we've seen it, like there's a beam and we're gonna try and save it. And I do wonder if this is too early, but I hope when I walk out of it, I go, okay, this made complete sense and I can understand.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's what makes this movie feel like it has a lot of pressure on it though, because they're introducing these super, super big character, like they're literally celestials. And if this is unsuccessful, and they're just on such a super scale, and like, it's gonna make tons of money, but at the same time,
Is it though? Because
I
Black Widow,
think,
so Black Widow, like it's tough because you have Suicide Squad, it's different radar and stuff like that, but that's not making lots of money. Black Widow North America is the biggest pandemic movie we've had so far, right? I feel like I cannot agree with you until I see what Shang-Chi does with no premiere access, just theatrical. Because here's the thing, and I hate to be the bummer. I don't care. If you don't care, I'm talking about this, fuck off. Here in Canada, we've had our biggest COVID cases since May. People are already expecting a fourth wave. In America, a few days ago, they had 160,000. So they were like 40,000 away from their biggest case all time. The world, or at least North America, we're getting to the point where these cases are big again. And the thing is, if you want to go risk it, that's fine. But I wonder if there's going to be enough people that look at Eternals and they go, and the same thing I wonder with Shang-Chi, where they go, if that was Spider-Man, they'll go, well, I love Spider-Man. I'm willing to risk, or I'm willing to at least go out of my comfort zone to see this one movie. Are they going to do that with Shang-Chi and Eternals, who are not main event people? In regular world, I'd say, yeah, because that's the Marvel brand. But now, like I said, we live in a world where Mortal Kombat was watched more on HBO Max than Suicide Squad. So it's like my expectations for movies is completely shot because I don't know what people are going to, what they want to intake right now. Like, do they want to see this? Do they want, like, especially too, like with Dune coming around, do they pick Dune instead? Like, I feel like those
yeah.
are comparable movies. Don't get me wrong, I think Dune's going to be pretty, I think it'll be superior than this, just because Denis is Denis. He might be have an ego, but I don't know if it's going to make lots of money in this COVID world.
Yeah, maybe I'm just too much thinking about the glory days of pre-COVID,
Yeah,
when like as long as there's a Marvel banner, throw in some actors from Game of Thrones in there, you got a successful movie. You're gonna make bank, but then you
2
do
Game of Thrones actors.
you brought in a lot of relevant stuff, so it is a big question mark.
And honestly, there's a chance that this also gets delayed and we don't see November. So maybe it'll make more money down the line, but they could easily delay it. And yeah, S-Bubs, I tweeted this out today when they said 7 days. Well, sorry, not that one, but that Clay brought it up. That I tweeted out immediately when they're like 7 days. I thought of the Ring automatically. Like, man, Samara, first she's fucking appeal to watch this tape. Now she's after the Avengers. They can't stop her. But
You like posted like I think like a gif of like the Ring chick like coming out of the TV, and I hadn't seen the trailer yet, and I had no idea what you were talking about. I
it
didn't
only
know it
got
was for the
it
Eternals.
only got one like on Twitter, so I was like, okay, this didn't play, but like I appreciate the one like, Johnny. He's a big GeekVerse fan, so thank you very much, Johnny, if you're listening to this. I was like, you know what, you understand, where even to, like, I think it went over their heads. Marvel Alliance with Chris and Brent. I asked, minor spoilers for What If, but I asked, like, what's your percentage of seeing a good guy Thanos in live action? And they're both like, oh, 5%, 3%. And I said 50% with a wink face, but they didn't get that I was doing the whole like perfectly balanced sort of, so,
I
but
got you.
that's the way it is. So we're going to take an ad break because we did 20 minutes before this. My ad times are going to be all fucked up. So I'm going to have to do lots of math later on. But luckily, I'm not working tomorrow because I took the day off, sick
Hell
kids.
yeah.
But also, CM Punk is coming back tomorrow, and I need a whole day to like decompress. My favorite wrestler of the past like 20 years is coming back, Kirkland. It's a
Was he
huge
retired?
deal. He was gone for 7 years because he got treated like
Like
shit in
7 days.
fuck, it's all circle. He got treated like shit in WWE, and he was the guy, like, when I was about to start watching WWE. I'll have to one time we'll do like an after night on this. I'll explain his whole story, but he was about to leave and they were throwing a bunch of money at him. They're like, this was in 2011. They're throwing all this money at him, like, stay, everything like that. And he wouldn't. He was just done with it. And he was like a huge internet darling. Everyone loved him. Undertaker and Punk are my favorite. So 2 weeks before he was gonna be done, his contract was expired. He was versing John Cena in the pay-per-view for the title, and they gave him the microphone and they said, go on stage, say whatever you want, unscripted. We'll cut you off when we feel it's uncomfortable. And he gave one of the greatest, like, promos, in my opinion, maybe the greatest wrestling promo of all time, and was completely serious and talked about like how Vince McMahon's, when he's dead, this company's not going to be better off. Like, he like went for the juggler, and it was this moment. And ever since then, like, I was already a mass fan of him. I was bummed he was leaving though when that happened. He went to the top, but then again, it almost was like a couple that was about to get divorced and they're like, let's give it one more go. And it ended terrible. Like, they fired him on his wedding day and stuff
Oh
like
my
that.
gosh.
And like it's so bad. But he's going to AEW, the new promotion,
Nice.
And man, and tomorrow they sold out. They're in his hometown, Chicago, and I'm going to literally cry so much tomorrow because I thought he was maybe never gonna come back to wrestling, like legitimately. Yeah, and he wrote Drax comic books. He's friends with Dave Bautista and stuff like that. He's starting to act. So, anyways, let's take this ad break and then we'll be right back. And we're back. We got a good one on our hands today. I think we're having fun. Lots of
Hell
good
yeah.
conversation in the
We're having
chat.
a good time.
So what was it gonna bring up? Oh, let's talk about this. As Bubs brought up, I have more to talk about the trailer. I want to talk about this fucking Snyder Superman thing, and I think this is the problem. So there is I don't even want to name the person. Clay will know who I'm talking about. He's named himself after a planet. There's just a guy who's like a very, very big fan of Snyder, and sometimes I hope it's parody, but I don't know if it is. I honestly don't think it is. And all he talks about is Snyder, blah, blah, blah. And he had like this, I think maybe he started, if not, he like continued it. It was like a bunch of side by side images. And maybe when you're talking, I'll try and tag you, or I'll send it to you in a direct messages. Snyder versus a douche. Anyways, it was like a bunch of scenes from this trailer and then a bunch of scenes of Man of Steel. And they're just like, look at the inspiration. Like Zack Snyder still pushing forward in the comic book franchise and all this stuff and blah 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 blah. And so like I get it, right? Like Icarus, who that's who Richard Man is like could be like a Superman character. He flies, his human strength, he shoots heat vision, but it's just like I think that's my problem. That I hate that I like to love lots of Zack Snyder's work, but it's the people around him that are just that make me not want to support, like not support him, but just like support him publicly because it's just like the thing like heat vision, like Zack Snyder didn't create like heat vision, like Superman had that for decades. And it's just like, I get what people are saying, right? As far as like the shots and everything like that. I just think like in general, these superhero shots and stuff can look very similar. They're beings that are flying and very powerful. And it's just, that's what I'm always tired of is people like I didn't once, and Clay said the same thing in their chat here. I did not once think of Zack Snyder, Superman, or Man of Steel at all until I heard people on Twitter being like, "Oh, look at some copying classic Marvel," and it's just like, oh my, it's just but they'll never have it the other way around. They'll never have like BVS was rushed because they're trying to catch it to Marvel. Anytime they copy, it doesn't exist. But that's where it's just like the Snyder stuff. Like, sure, there might be some similarities, but I don't think Chloe Zhao and the person who said like watch when Chloe Zhao lists Zack Snyder's inspiration. Sure, that could be the case, but I just don't think so. I think Chloe Zhao, the Academy Award winning director, is pretty competent and like knows what she's doing and like is inspired by a lot of stuff. And people inspire all the time. I'm not saying that, but it's this mentality of Zack Snyder created blank, and it's just like, man, between comic books, animation, previous movies, this guy, like, he created some really good stuff too, but it's just like not everything comes back to this guy. And like I said, and that's why if people have noticed before, I tweeted like release the air cut like months ago, and I was for the Snyder cut. After the movie dropped, I feel like the fans like just like ate themselves and got even worse. And I don't even there's some people really still good at that community, and I talk to all the time. But like as far as being publicly about it, no, like I just can't I just can't associate with some of these losers. Like they're just like I don't know. So I'm not sure if you have anything to say. I'm gonna try and link you in this tweet that I think started lots of conversation. You can go from there after. But do you have any thoughts on this? That some of the stuff going?
I mean, I'm pretty like innocent in the sense of like just being detached from like all the Snyderverse stuff. Like I didn't even really know about it when it was like people were just constantly like hashtagging it. Other than what you would tell me, this was at the time when I wasn't on Twitter, so I just like wasn't aware of it all at all. Like I heard some stories, some funny little like tweets, or maybe that you would have showed me here and there. So I've been so detached from the whole thing. So and even now, like I feel like I rarely see any of that on my Twitter timeline. Maybe it's just the algorithm. Maybe I'm just not interacting with those crowds. I just don't see them on my feeds or anything like that.
You're lucky.
But but just to like jump on like kind of what you're saying, when I was watching the trailer, like you mentioned the character's name's Icarus, right? The one that has similar style to Superman. Like I didn't once think that this was like a Snyder film, or like even when he was at like when he's in the air doing the laser eyes. Like laser eyes are not a suit. Like it's not attached to Superman. Like yeah, it's a power of him.
I
But
thought of
like
Cyclops first, to be honest. I was like, "Oh, they're taking Cyclops' gimmick
yeah,
already. This sucks when he comes. Like, it sucks when he comes to the MCU. This guy already has his stuff." Yeah. So when you ask Twitter, the tweet because I don't even want to give the guy publicity and whatnot. Everything is coming right now, but I did not think of Superman right away, and I just feel like this person who's like handles all about Snyder. Of course, it's the first thing they're gonna fucking think about. It's the same like Clay bugs
they
me, but
dream about it. Yeah.
yeah, like Batman is the first thing I think about with DC, but the difference is I own my bias, and I like when people call me out, I'm like, yeah, I'm a fucking Batman like dick sucker. I love that guy. That's why I watch Titans. That's why I say like Titans is a better Batman show than is a Titan show. But like, it's just like that's of course why you think about because it's just all you talk about all the time. And oof. Clay says while you're looking at that, I'll read some things. So no, Mercury AK is always serious and has a few screws loose. Yeah, and like I said, there was a few weeks ago where some stuff came out and he tweeted out. In my opinion, he would say no, but it was kind of like some phobic stuff, and I was like, okay, again, anyone that falls. And luckily, this is where I know that there's people in the Snyder like verse fan community that I follow, and then when you go to his account, none of them follow him, and that's when I go, okay, you're one of, in my opinion, one of the bad ones. You know, that's how I always tell when the good Snyder people are following somebody. I know, okay, this is not a fucking loon crazy ass person. All we know, Feige hired Gunn to steal the Justice League scripts. S Bubs, you're right. You know, like that's the only reason why he hired him back, just to see what are they doing for Justice League 2 after the 2017 Justice League. I muted the phrase Snyderverse. I don't know. I haven't muted that. I did mute restore the Snyderverse for a while, but then I started muting some accounts just because not because they're bad people, but just because all they talked about, I had no interest in it. That's why I said on the Discord, LOL. I thought that's what his name was from the boys. Yeah, it's. I've read so many of these comics, I've become a pro at parodying them. Yeah, it's if you'll know about the original GeekVerse, Hunka Hunka was based off a lot of kind of losers like this. But did you look at that tweet and that's what was kind of started some of the talking points?
You talking about me?
Yeah.
You're really interacting with the chat there, which I love. I just wasn't sure.
I
I'm
was giving you
gonna
time to
check it
get
right
because
now.
I feel like see, I was killing time because I feel like you log out of Twitter and then you gotta log back in. So that's why I was interacting with the chat because like I'm gonna give Kirklin the time to get into Twitter and look at this tweet.
I had Twitter open too, and I'm like scrolling through my timeline, just like catching up.
And then once I'm done killing the time, oh yeah, I'll look at that right now. Fuck. I thought that
It's
was
good to
why
be back, baby.
yeah, that's why I was going everything.
Uh,
But yeah, so that's it. It's Icarus with
okay.
him doing a bunch of shots, and it's just, and even then, like I feel like some of these shots are not like I feel like there's one shot.
There's one.
There's
Yeah.
one where it's like they're
The third.
leaping. Oh, the
Oh, okay.
third.
I
See,
was gonna
I
say
think
the
it's the
third one.
second where they're leaping at the same time. I think the other ones are just like it's Superman doing heat version, and then Icarus. Like, and I guess you're right. Like the guy's holding it. Like there's the fourth one where their heads are being held, but they're completely being held in different directions. And the third one you were saying, yeah, it kind of is, but it's just like,
I
is
feel
it just
like
a coincidence?
I feel
I
like I
don't
could
know.
go into the Incredibles and like find 4 shots that are identical to the one
Yes.
that in the trailer. Like honestly, like if you're looking for that, obviously you'll find it. Like if you look hard
Yeah.
enough. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to add on that.
That's fine. But yeah, Espo's brought it up, so I thought I'd address it and have some fun. So yeah, I talked
For
about
sure.
7 days. Yeah, and then when we're talking about the whole like, where have they been? Like Angelina Jolie has that line where she's like, "You protect what you love," and that's where it's kind of like, yeah, like all right, we'll see what like
She only loves
we'll
half of all existence.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then I really actually did quite like I've liked the jokes for all of them. I like the joke at the end of the first one when they're like when Chris is like, I could lead the Avengers. And I like the end of this, like, oh, you've built this great safe house. This must be vibrating, and he hits the table and it
Yeah,
breaks. I really
IKEA.
like
I
that.
love
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I'm
fall
working on an
collection.
IKEA desk right now. So fall
Oh, there you
collection, that was
go.
great.
So yeah, like I said, overall I did like the trailer. It sold me a bit more. It still would be if we were to make our like most anticipated list, it'd still be like pretty low tier for me right now, but I'm getting more excited. But I'm also still getting less excited as far as like I'm not getting excited for any movie unless it's streaming because with dates being up in the air again, I'm just prepping myself. Like I'm prepping myself for no Spider-Man this year. I'm prepping myself for no Batman in March. If it's not streaming, I don't think it's like for sure happening. So I'm excited. I'll say I'm more excited. I'm more intrigued to see if they can pull this off. And I know it's Feige. Every time I say, can he pull this off? He does. But hey, that's the point of taking new challenges to see, can he do it one more time? Can he create another new Guardians of the Galaxy of even weirder, even less known characters and make them like uber hits and uber successful? And the cast looks great.
Absolutely. And sorry, that judge character you're saying, was that the big celestial
Yeah.
thing? Okay, because they didn't say his name in the trailer, so
No.
it was like, who's our leader? And I swear they like opened their mouth to say something and it just like went to a shot of him. That was the moment that like gave me goosebumps though, because like visually it just looks so fucking cool to me. I can't wait to see
Yeah.
that like in the theater. So it's gonna I'm excited for that.
It looked cool, but that's when it made me question everything. Like, man, yeah, we're getting close to that, like seeing Galactus one day. And it's like if they do this, and that
Yeah.
was Galactus was trending on Twitter because a lot of people thought it was Galactus.
Dude,
And
I
it's like,
thought initially because they didn't say his name, and I'm like, I've never seen an image of Galactus, so I'm just
you've
assuming this
seen
is
him though. He has like human skin. He has like big antenna heads. You've seen him enough. I feel
okay.
like.
Okay, I'll pull up an
Okay.
image.
S Bub says Morbius straight to VHS
I
release
Google Galactus.
2022.
First images are just of this guy.
Is it? Yeah, the IKEA joke was great, fanboy. But yeah, it was trending because tons of people thought that, and there was a good tweet. Someone's like, "Well, clearly people still know what Galactus looks like," and they're right. It's yeah, but it's like I said, that shot scared me because it was interesting and epic, but it was also like, man, we're getting this point now in the MCU, so we will see if it comes out November. I think it's 5th or 3rd. We will definitely be reviewing it as always. We'll be
Oh
reviewing
yeah.
Shang-Chi in a few weeks, so can't wait for that. People are saying lots of good things. Brent's review got me hyped, so I can't wait. So I I had a transition for this, but I would be lying. I was gonna say, what I can't wait for is Black Panther 2. But I'm gonna say something, and it's not even controversial, just saying something that like I had this realization that after watching What If, and I was listening to Marvel Alliance, they were reviewing it, and I honestly like forget sometimes that Chadwick Boseman has passed away. Like it still has not actually fully set in. Even watching What
Yeah.
If, I watched that and I'm thinking like, oh, and then I will see him again at some point. And not talking about What If,
Yeah.
just like the way with all these other actors that we're hearing, it's like, oh, we'll see the movies. It's like, so what I've realized now is when Black Panther 2 comes out, it's gonna fucking break me because I feel like that's gonna be the full realization when we get a movie tributing him, that I'm like, man, he's like gone. I think it's also because it happened during COVID and there's been so much news and the news cycle's continually going, but it just because he's also young, it doesn't feel like he's gone. But either way, Black Panther 2 is still on track to come out, barring delays, 2023 and whatnot. They're filming now. And now there was this rumor coming out that, and it's good source. It's like I'd say like B plus tier, high C plus tier. It came from, I think, comicbook.com, that Riri Williams, who is Ironheart, so she's the one that takes over after Iron Man in the comic books. That's who inspires her. She kind of becomes like a little bit of a protege of his, that she is going to make her MCU debut in Black Panther. So obviously you don't have much based on the character, but do you think that's a good way to debut her to the audience, as far as, because they've already announced she's getting a Disney Plus show coming in the next few years? So it kind of seems like this, I feel like, is a no-brainer of like, hey, you'll meet her in a very big popular movie, and then if you like her, boom, there's a show just waiting.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say like it's like the best fit for that character, and like just totally preface, like I don't really know much of the character. It's just in my
Yeah,
head. I feel
she's a
like
very smart scientist girl. Like she's smart as Tony Stark, if not smarter.
well, of course, she's the offspring, isn't she? Isn't that her
No.
daughter? Or
No,
oh,
no,
it's
this
not.
is just this is just a separate student that like she's a fan of Tony Stark. Yeah, it's not the
Oh, okay.
daughter. It's just like it's a new character that she looks at as
Hmm.
Tony Stark as like a mentor. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting because I feel like with T'Challa and Tony, like I wouldn't picture those being like a really close fit. Um
Yeah.
for
Do
whatever
they
reason.
they only interacted like a few times in the MCU, right?
Yeah, like I
Like
guess in
Civil
like Civil
War,
War.
that's about it. People, I'll say what people's theory is that they're shouting out, because she's a smart scientist, that she may be linked to Shuri more than what
That's
she
what
was
my
like.
mind was going,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure if that's what they want to do, I'll like it and I'll totally go with it. I just feel like in my mind, if I was putting, if I had to pick somewhere to put her, I feel like I would put something tied to more Tony. You know, like maybe like even like interact with Rhodey or whatever
Yeah.
it might be. Just something tied to Iron Man as opposed to like Wakandan tech. Because I feel like if she makes an appearance in Black Panther, she's just like I mean, now that I think about it, maybe that would be cool actually. She's like an Iron Man, but more Wakanda tech. But then Is she more Wakandan than I don't know,
Well,
American made?
yeah, I wonder now if her inspiration is kind of a cross between Iron Man and Black Panther, maybe in the MCU, especially because they'll both be characters I would assume that have passed away in the MCU. I
Yeah.
assume that's what they're gonna do with T'Challa, or at least he's like missing, presumed dead. So that could be it. I am wondering like how do we get a kid in Wakanda? And I feel like this sounds stupid, but like hear me out. Wakanda at the end of Black Panther 1 is like opening their borders to people that want to work together. Is there a chance, like even the smallest, slightest chance that there's going to be like some sort of school or college like field trip to Wakanda?
Well,
Like
yeah, that like when as we were talking about, I was kind of just theory crafting, and I can totally picture it being like she won a scholarship or something to
yeah,
go, or like like do schooling abroad or something. Especially, because like you just mentioned, they are open to the world right now, so you got to imagine the brightest minds will want to go there and like study just vibranium and all that they have to offer, really.
yeah,
So, I think I would actually put a bet on that like that is the reasoning that
yeah,
there's
yeah.
some sort of
'Cause
scholarly
she's
reason
that.
for her to be there. Because if she's a
Yeah.
young kid
Mhm.
gotta be a student, you imagine, so
Yeah, she's that age. Like, I think she's gonna be younger than Peter, but older than Miss Marvel. So she's gonna be like that, like high school, like either in high school or like graduating from high school, something like that. I think she'll be like a little. I can't remember the age of the actual actress because they've already cast her, but
mm,
yeah, and I feel like she'll have a size of like I suppose was pointing out that apparently her role is as big as American Chavez in Multiverse Madness, but that doesn't help because we don't know how big her role is. I agree. I think her role will be to oh, I can't remember the character's name. Martin Freeman, who he played in Black Panther. He
like the
played
liaison dude.
yeah, was his name Ross? I feel like his last name he shared with somebody else. It was like another Ross. But either way, the amount of screen time he was in for Black Panther, I could see her having a similar or a little bit more than that, where it is an introduction. I bet if she is in the movie, we get a Yelena type end credit scene that sets up her show 100%, like easily,
Yeah.
because it's like, oh, if you like her, but are you pulling up the name there?
Like, of his character?
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Oh, I
Agent
could be wrong.
Ross, as Bub
E
says, yeah. So it is like I because I was like, oh, it's kind of similar. Obviously, the
Everett.
Thunderbolt Ross, Everett Ross. So there you go. I could see it being that kind of size where a little integral to the plot, but it's more just some fun stuff, and you learn like the character.
Yeah.
As Buzz says, vibranium Iron Man suit incoming. Oh baby, that could be some good stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, and
Yeah.
just touching upon, like, Everett Ross's appearances in Black Panther.
The back.
The Black
He's the
Panther.
football team that they have now. Here's the Black Punter.
Well, yeah, if they're worldwide, maybe they have a competing football team.
all
Um,
all their players get like the Panther herbs, and they're just kicking the shit out of the American teams. This is
um, like just thinking of his character in Black Panther, I really liked his usage in that film. Actually, I didn't think it was too less or too
yeah,
much. I thought it was a good amount, and I think I'd be totally happy if she took like kind of the replacement in that. But then it's a good origin for that character, and then hopefully she's good enough that we'll want more because we'll definitely be getting more. But I can't imagine me not liking her appearance. I don't know. I
yeah.
just trust the Marvel banner too much.
I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting. I think the closest I would be right now is if directly after Black Widow, if they announced, "Oh, we're doing a Taskmaster Disney Plus show," I'd be like, you kind of lost me on this one," and I would watch it because I'd give it the benefit of the doubt. But like seeing Taskmaster in Black Widow and be like, "We're doing a show of that character," I go, "Okay." So most of the time when they spin people off, I'm pretty sure like, okay, they know what they got here. So we'll see. That's coming out 2023. Hopefully, we'll see if that rumor's true. But yeah, it could be a fun one. We're gonna take an ad break, and then Feige just went on a roll today. These are gonna be our last stories. He just was dropping, bomb after bomb. Not really bombs, but just little mini nuggets and whatnot because he's doing the press tour. So we will be right back. And we are back. So this is I'm gonna go down them. Some of them are just like a quick yay or nay, or you have nothing to add on, but just thought there were some fun little tidbits he
Hell
put up.
yeah.
He said Loki season 2, the earliest it will go in production is 2023. So I remember during our review, our big like one of our big talking points was like when we're gonna get that season 2. Looks like we won't get it at least for 2 years now. So I guess that makes sense as far as it does make me interested because we were always like, hey, will Kang be the villain of the Avengers or Doctor Strange or whatever, something like that? So it's like, will you have to have Loki come out before, like a Ant-Man or like whatever the Avengers movie is. And now again, though, actually, even then, production 2023. I guess to me, what this sounds like is Kang may be in Loki season 2, but whatever happens in those other movies could be separate. Like it's not going to have too much of an impact on Loki right away. Like Loki's not holding him up, is what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Because when I initially saw that date, like my heart kind of sunk. I'm not gonna lie, because it was just
Yeah.
like, man, I fucking love that show so much, and I can't wait. I can't believe I have to wait that long for more of it. But at the same time, especially with what you just said, I feel like it does make sense just with the factors that they're introducing at the end of that show.
Mhm.
Um, but again, I'm like so like bittersweet on it because I do think it'll allow us to not rush into the whole Kang thing so that they can really build up to it and make it like a really really good like big bad in the end, even if that takes us years upon years to actually get to that point when they're beating the shit out of Kang, or if Kang's beating the shit out of all of our heroes. um you took a big exhale there.
Well, I was going to say something because Maddie sent us a question. You can do that on Patreon. Any tier, you can send us questions for our newscast. He said, is Kang a lock to be the villain of Avengers 5? And the reason I think he also asked us too, because one of our stories which was a blanket statement, but Feige just says, yeah, we're developing Avengers 5. And he said that kind of what we've all speculated, like we won some time after Endgame, but it will happen. He said, we're already on the track to Avengers 5. So, AKA, Feige knows where the fuck we're going and stuff like that. But what, like the way Maddie posed it sounds very yes or no, but do you think he is a lock to be the Avengers 5 villain?
So we had Avengers 4 already, right? This is the
Yeah,
next one. It's
Endgame. Yeah,
so
it's
weird to think
crazy.
about the numbers,
Yeah.
but I don't think he's a lock. I
Mhm.
think I think I think we'll know more like after Doctor Strange, after Eternals, because those are just like entering a lot more factors.
Yeah.
Kang is obviously like a big bad. Uh I wouldn't say it's a lock just because there's still so much unknown, especially like let's just leave Eternals out of it, which is
Mhm.
huge galactic scale, but just like the multiverse of madness. And what is
Yeah.
that going to introduce? Are we going to be getting different versions of our heroes that become villains, or is there,
Have
I
to.
don't know,
Have
yeah,
to.
like different, like fucking could be Toby the main villain of
No,
Avengers
don't do that. Don't. I do not. People pitch that, and I like people pitch like, "What if Toby's bad?" I do not. I just want
with a big
to.
mustache or something. Give him some
Yeah.
facial hair, make him
No.
evil.
No. I just want to eat my Tom Holland, Toby, Andrew cake. And you know what I thought? I don't know why I thought this, but it was like 11:47, and I turned over, and I was still not asleep, and I just went, "Man, I'm so fucking pissed. They're gonna put Tom Holland that ugly ass black costume while he's with the other
Oh,
Spider-Man." Like I think about that just randomly. I'm just like, can't you just have him in the fucking red and blue suit? Like it just sucks. All these fan arts are always them in their red and blue suits, and we're gonna have this Tom Holland sticking out like a sore thumb. And you know what's gonna suck even more is they're gonna make sure they're gonna make sure Toby and Andrew be like, cool suit, really cool. Where'd you get that? When it's gonna be like, no, it's fucking lame. Get out of here. Even though I don't mind the suit, but I just like but no, you bring up
yeah.
good points like where it is. I think he is a lock to be in it or to play a part in it because it's interesting because I think we'd heard, I can't remember when, but somewhere we've talked about this before, but like Secret War rumors were kicking up again. The one of the main writers for Secret Wars comic book had kind of let it slip in an interview like just last week. He's like, oh yeah, they're adapting it for live action. So there's a really strong chance that Secret Wars, which we're getting comic book versions very soon here, is going to be Avengers 5 because they're all talking about this multiverse war, right? And that's what Secret Wars is. I think that is he the lock for the main villain or the villain Avengers 5? No, but I think he will be in it, if not at least play a major part to getting there. That's what I think.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I'd agree with you there because he's a big enough like name even to just like if we get to Avengers and they're not even going to talk about this event, but uh, again, the more I think about it, like I guess it is possible that as of right now, no one really knows about Kang other than Loki, right? And he's like it's kind of separate from time. At
yeah.
least that's the way I look at it. So 2023. That's like I feel like that's still too early for the next Avengers though. So if we get the next Loki and then still no mention of it, I feel like that would be a little weird. So
What about 2025? Because if it goes in production 2023, there's a chance that it doesn't come out till 24 and then 25. And plus, that'd be fun. The fifth Avengers on the 25th year of the 2000 era. Like they got to go for that. That has marketing all over it. Like, and they got to, what they got to do, Kirkland? They got to release it April 5th. I'm gonna go find out what the day is for April 5th, 2025, because I feel like it has to be that day. If it is on a
What's so
Friday,
significant about that?
well, just because the fives, like 25,
Oh,
5,
okay.
Avengers 5. Like, I know it's not like it's
Well,
nothing
April's the
that
fourth
big.
month, so they should do May.
Let's see. April
May
2020.
5th.
Okay, here we go. What day of the week is April 5th, 2025? Oh my god, I don't need to know about any of this. The day of the week is a Saturday. Fuck. I was so close. I was so close to my destiny of having 5/5/25. Fuck. But
Um,
May
I was
5th.
just
Oh yeah, what is May 5th, S Bubs? Let's take a look at that. That could be a
that's what I said. I
oh
guess you
you
weren't listening.
no, I was busy thinking about my destiny. May 5th,
On the
2020.
4th month.
That's a Monday. No, you guys, what the fuck? At least I'm close with a Saturday. They're not gonna release Avengers 5 on a Monday. Come on now.
Like 2 p.m., like middle of the day.
Yeah. Uh,
Um,
you go ahead. I'm trying at least March, because maybe March I get away with it. If March 5th, 2025 is nothing, then I've given up on this. Like it's not happening. What day is it? Okay, drum roll, please. It's a Wednesday. Fuck. So never mind.
Wednesday.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe not. So yeah, what I was gonna say was, oh yeah, so I was looking. Guardians of the Galaxy came out 2014. That was the first appearance, right, of Thanos, or was it in Avengers?
Avengers
Oh
2012.
geez, 2012. So then
So
that's
took
Infinity War
us
2018. So like 6 years to see him actually being like a character, not just like an end credit scene.
yeah.
Loki came out this year,
So you're saying 2027
2021.
is when Kang will be a main villain. Well, no, but here's the thing though. Remember, he's already it could be the same way he was in Guardians, but he is announced for Ant-Man and Wasp 3,
That's
remember?
true. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
But he could easily
Um.
be like with Guardians, how Thanos was in it, but he wasn't like a big part, right? So he could just
No.
be like
Yeah.
around.
I feel like it'll be more similar to the usage of Thanos because, like, I feel like he'll just keep getting mentioned. Maybe people will learn more about him and like detail that information to different characters. Because, like I already said, so many characters in the MCU have no idea who this guy even is. Like,
Yeah.
it's just the TVA and Loki, and like that is so separate from like the main MCU stuff that I feel like this will just be the little breadcrumbs dropping 2023. Well, that was just filming in season 2, wasn't it? That's not even the release.
Yeah, that's when he said production, so
Holy crap. So how long do you think that would take?
S Bubs, I like your thinking. Fantastic Four release April 4th, 2024. I don't think that's the official date. He's just throwing out. Well, you never know, because if they start early, like Hawkeye was in production this year, but it's coming out this year. So if they start early 2023, it could easily come out that year. But if it starts like that Q3 era, like late
Yeah.
Q2, that might be pushing of like, okay, we're not going to get it that year. So I think that all depends when they start. They said one of the reasons they're looking for a director. I don't know why they're looking for a director when they had a fantastic one before, but again, that's still to me not a shady thing, but I find it very odd how that fell apart. Like it was so much success, and they're very ho hum about it. She says it's her decision. I don't believe her for a second. Feige also said that we're gonna definitely get a No Way Home trailer before the movie comes out. So
Yeah, it's comical.
yeah, good. Fuck you, Brent, because he was like, they shouldn't even release a trailer. They should just put out the movie and not even release it. You don't have to watch it. No, we're getting that. So we'll see. Apparently, and we're gonna cast about next week. We're hoping it leaks because on Monday Sony has their CinemaCon presentation, and the rumor is they're showing the trailer, but not to the public. But I'm telling you, all those people on CinemaCon, get a fucking phone, get it ready, and send it to your boy. I'll give you a free year of GeekVerse Patreon if you do
When is
that.
that? CinemaCon? When
Monday.
is
So Monday
this
we might be
Monday?
podcasting. Yeah.
Okay.
Next week, and I'm not expecting you to be all of them because it's very busy, but we have podcasts like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because Gamescom and CinemaCon are happening at the same time.
Right on. That's
Xbox
epic.
has a big presentation.
What a
Oh,
great decision that is, eh?
what? Yeah, they really talked about it. What's the other
I
one?
didn't
Oh,
even give my take on that last one.
about Spider-Man.
Yeah. Do I
Okay, go ahead.
agree with Kevin Feige or not? I do agree with him. I think the trailer will be released before the movie. I I want to be fun with this prediction. I think Deadpool will have some sort of interaction with this trailer, whether it's like him reacting to like Korg, or like with Korg, they're doing a little watch along, or like something. I feel like this, like just him doing the free guy thing. I feel like that was the start of something, and I love the interaction with Deadpool and Spider Man. So like that's dear to my heart. You were kind enough to give me a comic book of the two of them together, and I don't think it's far off from us getting Deadpool in the MCU, and I think this would be a crazy place to put it. Especially he could just talk about like the constant delays of like the trailer, like, oh, do you believe that the trailer is actually coming out? That's my out of the park fun prediction, and if it's right, then that's a certified fool of a toque. Told you so.
Well, what was that at the park? But then someone did one of those like Mario Party sluggers where they threw the catcher up and he got it, and then you're out. Because I don't think that's gonna happen for a few reasons. Because one, I think you would make people expect that Deadpool might be in the movie, and two, you have to remember this is a Sony movie, so they might not have that deal with the marketing to make it work
Oh,
for Ryan. Yes, that's
fuck! I forgot about that name,
yeah,
Sony.
yeah, Sony, and they're gonna reveal. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna reveal. Oh, Zendaya knows that he's Peter Parker. They're gonna do some fucking shit again. But no, I think that speaking of Deadpool 3, they announced, or at least Feige was talking about that Deadpool. Fuck, I do this all the time. Ryan Reynolds, he's not Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds is hard to work on the script with the writers, and they're still getting confident that they could go into production next year. So, and he said specifically they have a date pegged down. Now, I am getting less and less nervous, which is good because I've always said I'm always nervous that um this movie's never happened. I'm still always waiting for a press release, us to wake up one morning and like, oh, creative differences or schedules, we just couldn't make it work. But Free Guy was a hit, so that's good. Obviously, like it made almost as much as Suicide Squad, but it has such a different narrative around it. But still, go see the movie. I really enjoyed it. You're gonna love it. I think you'll have a good time. I loved it a lot more than I thought it would. So I think that's like a hit in the pandemic era. So they know, okay, Ryan Reynolds' money, Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool's money. That trailer action was great. So it does look more and more like it's gonna happen. And the more Feige talks about, the more I get less nervous, which is good. All I'm asking for, especially in fall when we're gonna have Disney Plus Day and we're gonna have Disney's Investor Day, all I'm asking for is just give me that date. Give me, and I know that's why, I guess, because they're writing the script, but I still want it dated. Not that changes. It could easily go off the schedule, but that does get me excited that they're talking about it. Ryan Reynolds said that during Free Guy. This. So when do you think we're gonna get that? Do you have any inkling still? I still think it's like not till 2023 the earliest, like this Loki era, unfortunately.
For sorry, what is this? This is
Deadpool
the
3
Deadpool 3 like movie release or like movie production starts.
release. We'll go release.
You think the movie's gonna come out in 2023?
Yeah, because they've talked about that. Ryan Reynolds said there's a 70% chance that they start shooting next year. Now there's still 30% chance it doesn't happen, but I'm trying to be optimistic, and I just want Deadpool 3 because it's crazy that we haven't gotten Deadpool 2 since 2018.
Yeah, I feel like I don't think that's that crazy considering just like it was Fox. It wasn't Marvel. Now that
I
they
know,
bought
but
Fox,
2 years in between 1 and 2, and now we're waiting 4+ years to get the third one. Oh,
yeah. And
oh,
it yeah. I
oh.
I think it'll be after Loki.
Whoa.
So production of Loki 2023. Let's just, you know, to be kind, let's just say it does come out that same year, like you just mentioned with the Hawkeye stuff. So maybe holiday or like early 2024. Jesus, these numbers, man. I feel like I'm in Blade Runner. These
Oh,
are sci-fi numbers. This is
oh
trippy.
yeah. S Bubs, you're taking a little of the gimmick that I did introduce on Marvel Alliance, so I don't feel like I'm stealing it. Fact or fiction, Deadpool will mention Feige in Deadpool 3. Fact. Has to happen. I still think that he should kill Kevin Feige in Deadpool 3. I really think I don't think they're doing this, but my whole pitch for Deadpool 3 is his multiverse is closing and he has to get in the MCU and he has to like kill off other Fox like property people like that. That's where you could get Chris Evans as Human Torch and have Deadpool killing him, kind of like Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. But I think Feige, I think you have to mention him, but I don't say you have to be in it, but I think that is like the cherry on top. That is the oh shit. You look at your friends in the theater like, man, they just did that. They just had Kevin Feige in this movie. And like I said, I think him killing Kevin Feige would be the best. Like that's how he gets in the MCU. I don't know what it would be, but what do you think, Kirklin? Fact or fiction? Feige will at least be mentioned in Deadpool 3.
I'd say fact. That's That's like a 69% feeling
Yeah.
on that one, if not more. So
And that's everything. We did it.
that's everything. Come on, I'm
Yeah,
ready for 3 more hours.
I thought there yeah, I thought there was more. No, say that for next week. Say that I want to hear that motivation when I'm saying, "Yeah, we're doing a third podcast this week." And you're like, "Yeah, 3 more
Fuck
hours," you
yeah.
know? So, but
Well,
yeah.
fun little announcement. Actually, next Saturday, Shay and I are gonna go pick up our puppy. We're getting a puppy.
Wow, I didn't know
Yeah,
about this.
August 28th.
You didn't say a single word to
I
any of
know.
us.
I like to make plans in the in the silence. Real G's move in silence like lasagna. So think about that one.
Lasagna. Yeah, I guess so. What type of puppy?
An Australian Labradoodle. It's gonna be chocolate, and his
Australian
name.
Labradoodle.
He's gonna be a boy.
He's gonna be a boy.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. This is a big
Yes.
step for you, dude.
Yes, we're super excited.
Australian Labradoodle,
Yes.
BC Kelowna. Whoa. And
As,
you're getting it as a puppy?
as a puppy, yes, it is
Oh man. Get
six,
ready.
7 weeks maybe. I think the full size is like a medium or something, so it won't be too
Yeah.
crazy. But
Well, that's awesome. Well,
yeah, we're super excited.
so you're telling me that you're not going to be streaming that day on Twitch?
Next next Saturday is when I pick up the
No,
puppy.
I know. I'm
So
not expecting you to do
before
that. So
then,
you got lots of stuff. You got potty training. You got pee pads. You got a bunch of stuff. Oh, congrats, man! Yeah, that's
yeah,
awesome.
we're super
Yeah,
excited. Thank you so much. The
having to.
first child.
Oh yeah,
It'll be a trial.
if you guys survive this, you'll be able to survive anything. Look at my sister. Her and her boyfriend got a dog, and now they're not together anymore. So there
Oh
you
no.
go.
So
So
it'll go one of two ways.
yeah, no, but it is like that. That's why I legitimately also like, because one, Emily, like, she does childcare, so I wasn't that worried. But for me, like, once I had Gwen, because everyone talks about, like, when you have kids, it's like you feel like this ownership or something and everything. I had that, but the very first time I had that was when we got Heisenberg. Of like
Right.
like when I got Heisenberg, you just look at him, you're like, man, like, I'm responsible for this thing. So like
Yeah.
once I had kids, I was like, okay, I've already been here before. I know I'm responsible for this, but that'll be your first, like, oh man, this is just like, it comes down to me and Shay. Like, this is everything about it.
Yeah,
And yes, I pray a happy, healthy life and very little vet bills, and watch look into good food and stuff like that, but no, that's exciting.
absolutely.
Congrats. That's Can't wait to
Yes.
meet the little
Thank you very
person or
much.
little dog.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
well, ladies and gentlemen, we did it. Kirkland's having a dog. We're having a good time here at Geek First. We'll be back sometime next week. I think Monday we have a tentative podcast plan, and it's because the Xbox Gamescom conference is like they've like been like, we're just covering games that we've already talked about. So if nothing big happens there and we don't get any, like, there's no Sony leaked footage, we'll probably just roll that into Tuesday. So it all depends. If we get that leaked trailer, if we find a way to watch it, we'll be doing it. I know we'll be watching like a crappy cam version, but like, it has to happen. So that's why, just the best, as always, follow us on social media and you'll get updates, because you'll have What If going on. I personally will be reviewing Candyman. I don't know what Taylor and Kirkland are doing, but I'll be looking for that. And then August 27th, we don't have a time. I think it's gonna be 5 or 6 Eastern. It's gonna be myself and Taylor Field versus Travis Hines and Clay in Rocket League. If Clay loses, he loses his title shot. S Pub says audio leak only. We won't podcast if it's an audio leak only. That's where I'll draw the line of saying, you know what, I want to at least visually see something.
The synopsis of the trailer. We've done that before.
We have. I would almost do a synopsis of the trailer over the audio leak. But here's the thing: if we're already cast about Gamescom, then maybe we will cast about other things. But just follow the schedule. There's gonna be lots of stuff popping off the end of August. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I promise when you hear from us next, I'll be boring.
Farewell.